The Daytona 500 is only a couple weeks away, and everyone is waiting in anticipation on how 2023 will unfold. Which drivers will dominate? Which drivers will struggle? Is Travis Pastrana going to beat out Jimmy Johnson to race in the Great American Race? God no, I absolutely hope this doesn't happen. But thanks to the craziness of the charter system as well as 2023 in itself, this could potentially happen. Now, while everyone has been asking these questions, NASCAR decided to throw more questions into the air by introducing us multiple new rules for the 2023 season, and oh boy, are they all over the place. Now, I was going to either make a video about some of the craziest pit road incidents that have happened in recent memory, or talk about Jeremy Mayfield being an absolute rebel that he is, and that for some reason everyone thinks I say Jerry when I talk about him, but you know what? I think we can push all that to the side and focus on these rule changes. Now, I'm not just going to be sitting here and say every single rule that they're implementing in the 23 season is going to be horrific. I mean, some of these ones are perfectly understandable and actually could make the product really good, but there are some that most people can agree could lead to future problems. Make sure to pull them belts tight one more time because we're getting ready to dive into the newest rule changes for the 2023 season. Number 1, the new rule for detached wheels. Competition officials have revised the penalty structure for wheels falling off the race car, shifting away from the 4-race crew chief suspension that has been in place since 2015. From now on, in the event of a lost wheel that is contained to pit road, the offending team will be subject to a pass-through penalty under green flag conditions. If the infraction occurs during a caution period, the offending team will restart at the tail end of the field. Now, if a wheel breaks free outside of pit road, meaning they're on the racetrack and the tire falls off, the new rule guidelines mandate a 2-lap penalty plus a 2-race suspension for 2 crew members. Each penalty is series specific, so violations in one series will not impact those crew members' eligibility to participate in other events. Honestly, I believe this is the right call. I don't think anyone was arguing the importance of tires staying on the race car. That should go without saying. With that being said, a 4-week suspension was sometimes detrimental to a team, and with the cars only having one lug nut for the next-gen machine, issues like this can happen more than ever before. NASCAR will get its point across that teams should take an extra second to make sure that the tire is secure with an immediate punishment during the race, but one that will not ruin a whole month of a team's progression. I don't care what anyone says, the crew chief is one of the most important members of the team. If they are missing, the team's performance will drop. So first rule on this list, not bad at all. Let's see if this consistency goes. Number 2, oval wet weather package available at select tracks. A rule that we felt like was going to come much sooner than 2023, but thanks to the disaster that happened in 2021's race at Circuit of the America, this probably got delayed until NASCAR had a better understanding of what driving in the water is like. NASCAR started introducing rain tires as early as 1995. Ever since then, they have only been used at road course events, most notable ones being the aforementioned Circuit of the America race and the Watkins Glen race in 2022. However, NASCAR always liked the idea of bringing race tires to some of the shorter racetracks, and that is something that we could potentially see this year, as competition officials have also expanded the list of tracks where wet weather equipment could be used at tracks of 1 mile or less. Those racetracks include the LA Coliseum, Martinsville Speedway, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, North Wilkesboro Speedway for the All-Star Weekend, Phoenix Raceway, Richmond Raceway, the Milwaukee Mile, and Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Now, I could see this one going one of 2 ways, either really, really bad or decent at best. I'm not expecting spectacular racing if NASCAR has a few rain-ran events, but it will definitely beat having to wait a whole day to watch a race on a work day while I'm at the office trying to look busy, when in reality, I'm counting how many positions William Byron is behind the leader. Damn you, William Byron, get that 24 car back in victory lane. Rule number 3, restart zones will be lengthened by 50%. NASCAR will expand the size of the restart zone by 50%. 25% in each direction for the first 5 races of the 2023 season. The viability of the larger restart zone will be assessed following the 5th race of the season at Atlanta. Sure, fine. I don't see anything wrong with this. Look, ever since the restart box became a major controversy, NASCAR has been doing everything they can to make the restart zone larger and larger. And to be honest with you, the worst thing to see is a driver who gets a really good restart and then is questioned if they jump the start or not because the person right next to them doesn't get going, resulting in a black flag and for the commentators to talk about it for the next 3 hours. I don't want the restart ever to be controversial, so making it bigger should help officials make smarter decisions. cautions. Of course, that's what we thought at first when they originally expanded it in the past, but be quiet, I'm just praying that it gets better. Number 4, the choose rule will be added for super speedway and dirt races. NASCAR's choose rule was implemented in 2020 to allow the highest ranking drivers in each field to pick whether to restart on the inside or outside lane. This rule was in place at every track except for super speedways, dirt tracks, and road courses. As of right now, it looks like road courses still don't have the luxury of a choose rule. But hey, at least we get it at Daytona and Talladega now. Yay! Honestly, I'm surprised it even took this long for NASCAR to allow the choose rule for super speedways for a couple of reasons. For one, super speedway races are all about making friends with your competitors on the track. Failure to do so will result in a lack of drafting help, meaning that the chances of getting a random push to the front gets slimmer and slimmer. For me, I honestly don't mind seeing teammates choose whether or not they want to start behind each other. It can make things really interesting for the battle up front. And secondly, if there was ever a racetrack where your lineup was super important, it would be at these two tracks. I'm expecting this to make super speedway races even more exciting than they already are. Please don't prove me wrong at the Daytona 500, I'm begging you. Number 5, stage cautions will be eliminated at companion road course events. Out of all the rules that NASCAR announced during the month of January, this one was my favorite. Since the introduction of stage racing back in 2017, one type of racetrack that has been negatively affected by it has been road courses. Road courses hold a lot of their excitement thanks to strategies that teams make during pit stops due to the rarity of a full course caution happening during the race. Stage break cautions all but eliminate that strategy since we know when the yellow flag is going to be displayed. Teams had to make the choice on whether they wanted to pit before the stage, thus costing them stage points, or staying out to receive the stage points, but potentially losing their chance to win the race. It just wasn't a good thing for road courses. This rule change should hopefully eliminate that luring doom of another boring road course race for a car that was built for road courses and give us that exciting battle that we were used to seeing just a few years back. Now, I would like to point out that this rule will not apply to standalone events in the lower series, like at Portland, Mid-Ohio, or Road America. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. I'm just hoping that this makes Sonoma more exciting than it has been the last couple years, because I really like Sonoma Raceway. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's very close to where I live, so it's very convenient for me to go to that race. And so far these rules have been actually more positive than I thought. I was thinking that they were going to have more issues, but hold your lug nuts! Rule number 6, points position requirement for playoff eligibility is now removed. Now this is how you prove to everyone that your point system is the most gimmicky thing in the world. The rule that caught most people's attention was the fact that NASCAR was eliminating the points position requirement to make it into the playoffs if a team receives a win throughout the regular season. Back then, the rule stated that a driver had to compete in all the races as well as finish in the top 30 in points for the Cup Series or top 20 in the points for the lower series by the end of the regular season. Now all drivers have to do is compete in all the races and win one race, and la-dee-da, they are racing for the most coveted championship in stock car racing. What an absolutely terrible idea. The biggest issue with this rule is now it further cements the idea that as long as you win one race, nothing else matters. If you finish dead last in every single race, you can win a rain-shortened event thanks to a lucky strategy and take one spot away from the playoffs from a winless driver. Hell, this already happened to Martin Truex Jr. last year in the 2022 season, and he finished 4th in the driver standings at the end of the regular season. Ryan Blaney only edged him out by 3 points and he was in 3rd. I guess this is the route that NASCAR wants to go moving forward when crowning a champion, and at this point, it will have to take a Cody Ware or Corey LaJoie to knock out a Hendrick Motorsports team before they reconsider. And number 7, time penalties will be added for a Chastain Martinsville style wall ride. You knew it was coming. This rule is understandable, but damn it, it is frustrating. Last season, in the penultimate race in 2022, Ross Chastain did the unthinkable and rode the walls in turn 3 and 4 to pass 6 cars, hold the track record, and advance on into the championship 4. Hands down the craziest move that we've ever saw in the playoff era. After that, many people were asking, will we ever see a crazy move like that again? No. Absolutely not, because NASCAR decided to make a rule that vehicles that employ a similar strategy to the one Ross Chastain used in his Hail Melon move would be issued a time penalty. Awesome. The move that almost everyone loved and put NASCAR in the main media spotlight once again is now against the rules. Look, I understand why they decided to issue a time penalty for this. I mean, the last thing you want to see is 16 cars riding a track like Martinsville and have the gate give out like it did in Bristol in 2002. But at the same time, it was the coolest thing ever! If drivers are willing to put their car on the line, I say let them do it. Put it in the driver's hand and have it be a self-policing issue. Honestly, the thing that's going to be driving me the most crazy is the fact that NASCAR is going to continuously advertise this crazy move that Ross Chastain did, and then let everyone know, oh, it's illegal now, but damn, don't you wish you could see it again? Just end my misery. As far as these rules go, they will definitely add more to the exciting factor of the sport. I'm just hoping it just stays at that, rather than making things more complicated and heartbreaking for the fans. Here's to you, 2023 season. Please don't let us down.